Shalom Israel, and welcome to another edition of Yasharalah's 20-minute breakdown, where I'll attempt to break down the scriptures within 20 minutes. But first and foremost, as always, we give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Waha, Rakah, Kadash, and the Akims and the elders in the highways and byways pushing this word in truth and sincerity, all praises. And the elder women teaching the younger women, all praises to you too. And the camps going out there, making videos, pushing out their social media and all outlets possible, edifying the body, pushing the truth according to scripture, all praises. Now, what I want to touch on today is something that I hear a lot, and I've decided now to do a lesson on it. Now, this is what I hear a lot from many people, even Christians, atheists, people in general. Soon as things start going bad, they start saying, oh, they prayed to the Most High and he heard my prayer and he delivered me out of this situation. Oh, and even some people, when they get worldly stuff, oh, I prayed and this happened. Oh, I prayed and that happened. You're not keeping any commandments. You're not keeping any laws, but you think you can just, every time you want something, pray to the Most High God and he will give it to you. That's not how the God of the Bible works. Maybe that's how the God of Christianity works, but not the God of the Bible, the true one and only living God that we're supposed to be serving in truth and sincerity with all our heart, mind and soul. It's like anything, yeah? Your parents are not going to reward you if you are constantly misbehaving and you're not doing what they tell you to do. Now, do you think the Most High God is your personal banker, that every time you need something, you just pray to him and it happens and you get it? What you need to be worried about, especially those of you who are not keeping any laws, not keeping any commandments, just, doing what you like, living the way how you want to live, which you feel is right in your own eyes. When you start prospering of things of this world, worldly stuff, you need to worry about where that's coming from. That's what you need to worry. And stop thinking it's the Most High blessing you with these things. Because you've got to remember, the devil can answer prayers also. I proved that in a video prior, one of my early videos. I proved that when the Messiah, remember when the Messiah fasted 40 days and 40 nights. Now we know fasting 40 days and 40 nights, you would be weary. You're tired, you're hungry, everything. And that's when the devil, Satan came to the Messiah and tempting him, telling him, if you bow down and worship me, all these, I will show him the kingdom. Remember, he took him on the high mountain, showed him all the kingdoms of the earth and said, all this I will give to you if you bow down and worship me. And remember, he said, get thee behind me, Satan, that I only worship the Most High God alone. And, you remember that story. But what I'm trying to show you is that you cannot be keeping nothing and then expect your prayers to be heard. The Bible doesn't even teach that. Christianity teaches that. And people who take verses out of context, they teach that. But when you go into the Bible in its correct form and you read it how Isaiah said you should read it, and also you are keeping the commandments. If you're doing Psalms 111 verse 10 and you're reading the Bible the way Isaiah chapter 28 verse 9 and 10 tells you, and you're keeping the commandments, the laws, statutes, and judgment, laws, statutes, and commandments, at least the best of your ability, and you pray to the Most High, your prayers will be answered. They will be answered according to Scripture. But you've got to be first keeping those commandments, those statutes, with the faith of Yahweh Shai, which is the one that you call Christ. You've got to have faith and works. Yeah? So that's a requisite you must have. The Bible teaches that all the way. You cannot defer from that. But when you say certain things, it's because you don't understand the scriptures. When you go and say, oh, we just have to believe, oh, and like you can't be justified of the law, only faith justifies you. You have to read in correctly, read the scriptures correctly, because the scriptures show you you are justified by faith, yes, and it also shows you in the book of Romans you are justified by the keeping the law also. That's why when they come together, faith and works must go together. You must be doing the works of the law with the faith, knowing by doing the works there's a greater reward. That's how it works. So when you pray to the Most High, you must be keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments, of the Most High. Pray to him and he will hear your prayer and he will answer them. But if you are wicked and evil and you cast all these laws behind you and still expect to pray to him and he hear you and give you what you want or what you need, well, let's get into this lesson and let's see if this is so. Without further ado, I'm going to get into this lesson. In 3, 2, 1, I'm going to start my timer, and here we go, my countdown. So lucky, here's my countdown now to start my timer. In 3, 2, 1, boom, we're away. Let's go straight there. I'm going to take it at the book of Proverbs, Proverbs chapter 28 and verse 9. That's my opening verse. Let's read it. And it reads, Proverbs chapter 28 verse 9. And it reads, he that turneth away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayer shall be abomination. Now, what is abomination? We know abomination is something that the Most High, detests, disgust. Your prayer is an abomination to his ear if you are not keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments. I will read that. I'm going to read that again so that sinks in. And then we're going to go through other scriptures and let's see, if you can just pray for stuff and get it from the. That's how the Most High is just your banker, your genie in a bottle that you just rub the genie and you get your wishes. You don't have to do nothing. Let's see if the Most High is your genie. Right, let's go back there again. Proverbs chapter 28 verse 9, and it reads, he that turneth away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayer shall be abomination. Now, hear that clearly. Watch this now. I'm going to jump to the book of John. I'm going to jump to the book of John, chapter 9, verse 31. Let's see what this says. Listen to this. John, chapter 9, verse 31, and it reads, now we know that God heareth not sinners, but if any man be a worshipper of God, and, hear that, and doeth his will, him he heareth. Showing you exactly what Proverbs said. Just showing you, I'm precepting it to show you that it's in the Old Testament and in the New Testament. Showing you that, the Most High doesn't hear sinners, according to John chapter 9, verse 31. And in case you didn't know what sin is, I'm going to show you what sin is according to the Bible, not according to these Christian pastors who lead you astray. Listen to this. First John chapter 3, verse 4, and it reads, whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law, for sin is the transgression of the law. So I always have to add that one in. I just want to show you that when you are in sin, that's when you're breaking God's laws. So now if I go back to John chapter 9 verse 31 and read that again just so it sinks in. John chapter 9 verse 31, and it reads, now we know that God heareth not sinners. So see, if you're breaking the law of the Most High, if you're transgressing the law, you are a sinner. And it says, we know God heareth not sinners. And it says, but if any man be a worshipper of God, so you've got to be worshipping him, keeping the faith of Yahushua, which is the one that you call Christ. And it says, and doeth his will, by keeping his commandments, obeying his voice, doing the will of the Father. Then it says, him he heareth. He will hear your prayer. Now, I'm just going to show you something here first. Watch this. Actually, you know what? Watch this. I'm going to show you an account where that even happened. Watch this. First of all, let me show you this. I'm going to go to the book of Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha. Listen to this. Ecclesiasticus chapter 12 and verse 6. Because some people try to get simple, and they say, oh, it's not the sinners he hates, it's the sin. But you cannot have the sin without the sinner, because someone has to be the sinner. A sin doesn't sit on its own. Someone has to perform that sin for them to be a sinner. A sinner is a person. Sin itself sits there on its own, if you see my point. Listen to this, yeah? Ecclesiasticus chapter 12 and verse 6, and it reads, for the Most High hateth sinners. See what I just told you earlier? For the Most High hateth sinners, and listen to this, and will repay vengeance unto the ungodly. So you see, if you're a sinner, you're ungodly according to the Bible. Let me read on. And will pay vengeance unto the ungodly. And here we go. And keepeth them against the mighty day of their punishment. So you see, when you see these sinners and these ungodly people living long, prospering in this world, the Most High is keeping them for the day of their punishment. So you don't worry about when their day will come. They will get their day. According to Scripture, according to the Most High God's words, they will get their punishment. Nobody goes unpunished. Nobody. Let me get that clear. Now let me show you, like as it says that the Most High hateth sinners. He doesn't hear your prayer when you're a sinner and you're praying to him. And I'm going to prove that account. Watch this. We're going to go to the book of 1 Samuel. Now, this is King Saul, which was the first king over the Israelites. And then, after Saul fell, King David, which was a righteous man, David, took Saul's place and became king. But remember, King Saul was righteous at one point until after, him and David went to battle. And David, remember that saying when he said Saul killed thousands and David killed 10,000s, and he was upset that people was singing out for David, and then King Saul tried to kill David. Yeah, I'm just going to take it at 1 Samuel chapter 28, and I'm going to take it at verse 5 into 6. Now watch this, yeah. Now it reads 1 Samuel chapter 28 and verse 5, and it reads, and when Saul saw the host of the Philistines, he was afraid, and his heart greatly trembled. Verse 6, listen to this. And when Saul inquired of the Lord answered him not, neither by dreams, nor by Urim, nor by prophets. Now you see, now the Most High departed from Saul because Saul's heart got wicked. He was trying to kill a righteous man, David. So the Most High departed from Saul. Now, when you read on, you're going to find that Saul, the king, disguised himself, and he went to a woman that does divination to bring up, answer. So this woman brought back, Samuel. Yeah, remember Saul disguised himself, and this woman brought back Samuel, and he inquired at Samuel. I'm just going to take it at verse. I'm going to jump down to verse 16. I just want you to hear what Samuel said to King Saul about this same situation. Listen to this. I'm going to jump down now. So it's first Samuel's chapter 28, and I'm going to jump down to verse 16 of the same chapter. Listen to this, and it reads, then said Samuel, wherefore then dost thou seek, Salaki. Then said Samuel, wherefore then dost thou ask of me? Here we go. Here's the point. Now listen to this. Seeing the Lord is departed from thee and is become thine enemy. So you see, the Lord has become Saul's enemy, showing you that Saul's heart got wicked and Saul now forsook the law. Because remember, one of the laws, you have to love your brother, love your neighbor as yourself, the children of thy people. Remember, King David was an Israelite. Saul was an Israelite, but King David tried to kill a righteous man. Okay, all right, so lucky. Saul tried to kill a righteous man. Let me get that right. So yeah, King Saul was an Israelite, and David was an Israelite, and King Saul tried to kill David, who was a righteous man. And you see, so he wasn't now loving his brother as himself. So he now was breaking the laws. Now he was a sinner. And see that? The Most High departed from him. Now I just want to show you that point. Now, let's read on now. Let's go back now to the book of Proverbs. I'm going to show you again in other verses where the Most High don't deal with evil people. If you're breaking the laws, statutes, commandments, and you're not keeping them, he considers you evil or wicked in his sight. Watch this, yeah? The book of Proverbs. I'm going to go Proverbs chapter 15, verse 29. Listen to this, yeah? Proverbs chapter 15 and verse 29, and it reads, "The Lord is far from the wicked, but he heareth the prayer of the righteous." So you see, again, showing you he doesn't hear the prayers of the wicked, of sinners, but he hears the prayers of the righteous, those that do his will. He hears, which I showed you earlier. Watch this. I'm going to even go further. I'm going to jump to the book of Isaiah. Watch this. Isaiah chapter 48. Where are we? Isaiah 48 and verse 22. Listen to this. Isaiah chapter 48 verse 22, and it reads, "There is no peace, saith the Lord, unto the wicked." See that? The Most High showing you, unto the wicked there is no peace. He is not going to be looking after the wicked. Yeah? He's saving them for their time of judgment. Remember? I read to you that earlier. Watch this now. I'm going to show you something else now. I'm going to go to the book of 1 Peter. I want to prove everything as quick as I can, yeah? 1 Peter, watch this. Chapter 3 and verse 12. Watch this, yeah? 1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 12. And it reads, "For the eyes of the Lord are over the righteous." Hear that? "For the eyes of the Lord are over the righteous." And listen to this. "And his ears are open unto their prayer." You see that? But listen to this. "But the face of the Lord," hear this, "but the face of the Lord is against them that do evil." You see? You see that? I don't know what to say. So you've got to get this notion out of your head that you think that you could not keep no commandments and pray to the Most High and your prayers will be answered. You've got to get that out of your head. Watch this, yeah? Going to jump to the book of Psalms. Chapter 34 and verse 16. Where are we? Psalms chapter 34 and verse 16. Yeah? Watch this. Psalms 34 verse 16. And listen to this. Oh, hang on a second. I think I've yeah. Psalms chapter 34 verse 16. No, that's right. Watch this. And it reads, Psalms chapter 34 and verse 16, and it reads, "The face of the Lord is against them that do evil." Here we go. "To cut off the remembrance of them from the earth." So you see, showing you all the way the Most High don't deal with people that do evil. And watch this. Jump to the book of James. James chapter 5 verse 16. Where are we? James. James chapter 5 and verses 16. Listen to this, yeah? Listen to this. James chapter 5 and verse 16. And it reads, "Confess your faults one to another and pray one for another." Here we go. "That ye may be healed." Listen to this. "The effectual fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much." So you see that? The prayer of a righteous man availeth much. What does it mean to be righteous? By keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments with the faith of Yahweh Shai, which is the one that you call Christ. Yeah? Now, watch this. I'm going to show you something else here. I'm going to jump to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4, and I'm going to take it at verse 7. Now listen to this, yeah? Now it reads, Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 7, and it reads, this is what it means to be righteous. Watch this, yeah? Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 7, and it reads, "For what nation is there so great?" Hear this? "For what nation is there so great, Who has God so nigh unto them? Hear that? Who has God so near all to themselves? Yeah? Who has God so nigh unto them? Listen to this. As the Lord our God is in all things that we call upon him for. See that? Our prayer is heard, yeah? That we call upon him for, yeah? And listen to this, verse 8. And what nation is there so great that has statutes and judgments so righteous? See, that's what it means to be so righteous as all this law which I set before you this day. Now you see, that's what it means to be righteous, by keeping the law. I've just proved that to you. I want to go back to verse 7 of Deuteronomy 4. So there's something I want to show you in that verse. Watch this, yeah? Deuteronomy chapter 4. I'll go back up to verse 7. Listen to this. For what nation is there so great that has God so nigh unto them? Listen to it. That God has that. What nation is so great that has God so nigh unto them? Hold that thought. Listen to this, yeah? That has God so nigh unto them. Watch this. Let's see what nation it's talking about that has God so near, so close, so near, so nigh to them, only to them. Listen to this, yeah? The book of Joel, chapter 2, verse 27. Listen to this. Joel chapter 2 verse 27, and it reads, and ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel. Now that's the nation. Listen to this, yeah? Ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel, and that I am the Lord your God, and none else. And my people shall never be ashamed. Now that's the nation who has God so nigh unto them. The children of Israel, us, the Israelites, the real Jews, the real, Native Americans, the real, Latinos, and, those that make up the 12th tribe of Israel. Those are the people that has the Most High so nigh and so close unto them. Yeah? So that's who it's talking to. Let's go back to Deuteronomy chapter 4 verse 7. So now when you read it again with that understanding, listen to this. Deuteronomy chapter 4 verse 7. For what nation is there so great who has God so nigh unto them? The Israelites, my people. As the Lord our God is in all things that we call upon him for. Verse 8. And what nation is there so great that has statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law which I set before you this day? Talking to the Israelites. So you must keep the laws. Now I'm going to finish off with this verse. I'm going to give you to finish Romans chapter 10 and verse 5. Listen to this. Romans chapter 10 and verse 5. And it reads, for Moses describeth the righteousness which is of the law. You hear that? That the man which does those things shall live by them. I can't say nothing more than that. So it's showing you we must keep the law. We must live by them. Do them with greatness and gladness of heart. Don't do them like they're a burden and they're a chore, because they are what keeps you righteous in the Most High God's eyes. So then when you pray to him, he hears your prayer and he heals you if you've got any ailment or sickness. He'll feed you if you're hungry. He'll give you wisdom, understanding, and knowledge also. And with wisdom, understanding, and knowledge, you can defeat your enemies, because we do have enemies. So with that, I hope you got something with that. This is Yasharala. We out.